Hello, my name is Don Schmidt, and I'm here with my co-host, Jenna Randar.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jenna. Jenna and I have many, many years of working in and around and managing parks, and we want to share our expert insights on outdoor recreation in Northern California. And we're going to stick within a roughly 3-hour drive from Sacramento.
And we're going to focus on seasonal adventures with your family while blending storytelling, history, and a little bit of practical travel advice here and there too.
Yep. So, Jenna, we've both worked in some amazing and beautiful parks in and around California. So what would you think is the most beautiful of the 280 California state parks?
I'd say that's an unfair question. It's hard to pick your favorite child. But I am very partial to one of the parks we're actually going to talk about today, which is Plumas Eureka State Park.
Yeah, I would agree. Plumas is a pretty amazing park. I've always been partial with Emerald Bay State Park up in and around Lake Tahoe because that's where I started my career. I would also say that Anza Borrego is a pretty amazing park down in Southern California. But in a recent article in Travel and Leisure magazine, they highlighted the most beautiful state parks in each state. And Redwood State and National Park up on the north coast of California got the nod. Now, I find that kind of interesting because I wouldn't have thought of that.
I don't know what the parameters were.
Yeah.
Like, was it a voting thing?
I don't know. It didn't say, but I also thought, yeah.
I mean,
that's
it's
an amazingly beautiful place up there. So sure, why not? The thing about California is that there's so many beautiful state parks here.
It's hard to pick a favorite.
It would be very hard to pick a favorite. So that's just a little bonus tidbit of knowledge for you. I thought you would enjoy that. If you out there have an opinion about our most beautiful state park in California, please let us know on our social media, Rogue Ranger Radio, or our email at Rogue Ranger Radio, all one word, at gmail.com.
Today, we want to introduce a new segment where you can send in questions to us about anything related to our local, regional, state, and national parks, and we'll ask a ranger to get an answer. One of the questions that we've most commonly been asked throughout our time in parks is, how do I make a reservation for camping?
Yeah, that's pretty good since there's two rangers sitting right here at the table. I think we could answer that question. It is a relatively big question. It's kind of open-ended when you ask about how to do that because there are so many different ways to go camping in California.
Yeah.
And we are going to do a whole segment on camping and making reservations for camping in California. And we're going to do that in January. So be sure to check that out if you're not sure how to do this. But the short answer is for a national park like Yosemite or a Forest Service campground or Bureau of Land Management area, you want to go to recreation.gov. If you haven't set up an account there, it's not too hard to do that. But for all the federal parks across the United States, that's the place to go. For a California state park, you want to check out reservecalifornia.com and set up an account there. They have improved that website immensely in the last year or so. So it should be much easier to make a reservation.
I think you could see it in my face. I'm just like, oh.
Yes. It's vastly improved.
That's good.
I checked it out before the show. So we are going to put these links in the show notes. So if you are not sure what they are, go ahead and check them out there. Today will be the second of our two-part series on winter recreation. Last time we looked at the Interstate 80 and Highway 50 corridors and in and around Lake Tahoe. This time around, we're going to explore some fun places to play in the snow outside of the Lake Tahoe area. Our focus is going to be on free or low-cost access on public lands, parks, and some of the easily accessible snow parks.
That's right. We're going to be including sledding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and even some ice skating from Lassen National Park down along the State Route 89 corridor towards Truckee, including Highway 49 near Sierraville, and then we'll travel south of Lake Tahoe and take a closer look at the snow parks along Highway 88 towards Carson Pass, Highway 4 to Calaveras Big Tree State Park and Bear Valley, And then we're going to take you up Highway 108 to Pinecrest and up the various highways to Yosemite National Park.
Yay.
I know, that's the crowning jewel. And that makes up a good chunk, pretty much almost all of the Sierra Nevada, except for what's south of Mammoth.
We're going to talk about safe travels in the snow country as well, because winter, especially in the Sierra Nevada, can be a really wonderful playground, but it does require some travel planning.
Yeah. So the easiest way to get some playtime in the snow is to go to an area that is developed and has parking, like a state or national park, or one of the 18 snow parks in California that we talked about last time.
Mm-hmm.
These snow parks were created to give people a safe place to get off the highway and have an enjoyable day. Just be aware that since most snow parks and play areas are out at road closure points or are far away from civilization, bring everything you'll need for the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So extra clothes, extra water, warm water preferably, snacks, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And please pack it out at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Unless noted, snow parks require a $15 day pass, or you can purchase a $40 annual pass, and that can be purchased online or at vendors along the way to the snow park, and that can all be found online. So check out the ohv.parks.ca.gov website to purchase a pass, to download a map, and to get a list of past vendors in your area.
Yeah, there's a lot of past vendors this
many.
year. Yep. Let's start off at one of the places in California that I really absolutely love, and that would be Lassen Volcanic National Park. It really is a fun spot to go in the summer. I know you guys have been up there.
Yeah.
I absolutely love going to Lassen and making an attempt at hiking up Lassen Peak, because it's really not that far, 3.5 miles up, and much shorter coming back down, it seems like.
We haven't done that one yet.
Yeah, it's great. But it also is a very fantastic place to explore in the winter. Now, the easiest access is from Chico on Highway 32, going up to Highway 89, right to the south entrance of the park. The road all the way through the park is closed in the winter, but there is a parking area at the south entrance right at the visitor center, and they charge a $10 per vehicle parking fee there.
Does that still count even if you have a national park annual pass?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because if you have your annual pass, no, you just use the pass. Usually they go in and will give you something to put on the window placard there. There's a really excellent hill right at that location, right at the visitor center there, that's great for sledding and snow play. And the trailhead for the cross-country skiing area or snowshoeing on the park road is right there. That used to be actually a ski area. There was there was a ski lift right there back in the 60s and 70s, and it was just a fun place to play, which is why it makes a good spot for snow play right now.
All right. Well, let's travel down south Highway 89 to my favorite, Plumas Eureka State Park, which is just outside of the town of Gray Eagle. It's in between Portola and Quincy. And this gem of a state park is perfect for a family outing in the snow. I take my family there every winter, and we do every sport you can there. You can take the sleds and tubes up to the old Plumas ski hill and slide on the open hill. If you choose to do that, you need to actually drive past the park and go through the town of Johnsville and go up the hill, and it dead ends into a roundabout parking lot situation. And that's where then you have to walk up. So just know that you have to go all the way up. You don't just park at the park museum.
Yeah, but it's 200-300 yards up the little hill there.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Or you can also cross-country ski and snowshoe on the groomed ski trails that start at the museum, and they follow the road along Jameson Creek out towards the campground and points beyond, and you cannot miss the museum. It's in the parking lot. It's a big bright red building. It's like Clifford the Big Red Dog. You will not miss it. There is no day use fee for this park, and it is not a snow park, so you don't need a snow park pass.
Yeah, it definitely is the hidden gem, especially for the winter.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, my family, we go there every winter. We do snowshoeing and we go sledding and just enjoy the snow.
Yeah, even on a weekend, you'll only find just a few people
it's
around the park.
Yeah, a busy day is like 5 other people. And then most of them are backcountry skiers going to Eureka Peak. So you'll most likely have the entire ski hill to yourself. There have been days where we have bluebird days and we're the only ones there.
Yeah.
Not far down, Highway 89 is the Highway 49 junction up to Yuba Pass Snow Park. This snow park is primarily used by motorized recreationalists with snowmobiles, but it is also a decent place to play in the snow. My family has stopped here multiple times to play in the snow. There is a restroom here. It's a cement one. It is vault toilets, but you get what you get.
Yep.
Also, because the trails here are groomed for snowmobiles, you can cross country ski, and you can share the space.
Mm-hmm. That's really common up in that area.
Yeah. So that's you pass.
Yep. And you need a snow park pass.
Yes,
right?
you do. You
Yep.
do.
Yep. About 15 miles north of Truckee, so kind of halfway between Yuba Pass and the town of Truckee on Highway 89, there's a turnoff to Jackson Meadows Road and the Jackson Meadows Winter Staging Area.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hugely popular place for snowmobilers. They come from all over, including Nevada, but it is also used by people for snow play, cross-country skiing and snowmobiling, because just like Yuba Pass, they groom the trails there for the snowmobilers. There is a large free parking area there with vault toilets. And this spot attracts cross-country skiers, especially midweek. So you won't be really sharing with very many snowmobiles either. It can be pretty quiet up there. So if you go there for snow play, be sure to park away from the pickups with the trailers so that they can more easily load and unload their equipment. So if you park down toward the restrooms, you're in a better spot for snow play.
Yeah.
And probably a little better snow, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the main snow play areas north of Truckee and Lake Tahoe. Since we covered Interstate 80, Highway 50, and Lake Tahoe in Part 1, we'll jump south of Lake Tahoe to Highway 88 and Carson Pass. These areas all require a snowpark pass. So we have Highway 88 from Lodi and Jackson. It has the distinction of having 4 snow parks offering excellent snow play opportunities south of Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
The first one you come up to as you're heading up the hill is Iron Mountain. This is the location of the old ski resort, and since the Caldor fire, it is not shaded, so don't forget the sunscreen.
Yeah.
The terrain is varied here, so there's something for everyone, and this is also a staging area for snowmobiles.
Yeah. You can just go over the hill over where the old ski resort used to be, and it's a great place to sled right there. It's another one of those kind of that didn't last, but now
it's
the area's been clear. So, yeah. Now, if you drive a little bit further up the road on Highway 88 from Iron Mountain, you'll come to both Meese Meadow and just a little bit further, Carson Pass snow parks. Now, these areas are specifically for non-motorized snow play, so they have good spots for sledding. Parking at Carson Pass can be really limited. It's just a kind of a small area up there. And if they've had a lot of snow, sometimes it doesn't get completely plowed out right away. So just be aware of that. And it's also a trailhead for backcountry skiing in that area. Now, back in Part 1, we also discussed Hope Valley Snow Park, which is just a few miles east of Carson Pass over the hill, down near the junction of Highway 89. This is a mixed-use area, but it has a very large parking area. There's groomed ski and snowmobile trails and a lot of space to spread out down there. The area tends to be pretty flat. You've had your family there before, I think, Jenna. And I don't know if you've been able to do any sledding.
Not really. It's pretty flat.
Yeah, it's mostly snowman kind of.
Yeah, it's snowman territory.
Yeah. But other than that, at least there's a lot of parking there.
Yeah,
and the scenery is
it's gorgeous.
Incredible.
I mean,
yeah. So we're going to take a little short break here. We'll be back in just a moment. Another place that we want to mention that's actually relatively close to Hope Valley on Highway 89 going south is Grover Hot Springs State Park. It's a wonderful place. It's another one of those hidden gems of a state park in the Sierras. And it's a great place to take a family in the wintertime for snow play. And one of the very cool things that they have there is the hot springs pool.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it does get very busy on the weekend. They do charge $8 per car in the wintertime and a $10 per person entry fee for adults.
And 5 for kids.
5 for kids.
And
yeah.
you do have to have a reservation now for the hot pool.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is so
busy
incredibly
now.
popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're able to get up there midweek, it is still a great place to play in the snow.
Yeah. And they have cross-country skiing and snowshoeing in the meadow.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, let's travel a little bit farther south down to State Route 4 out of Stockton and Angels Camp. This route features one of the most beautiful places in California, which is Calaveras Big Tree State Park.
Oh, yeah. I love that place.
This is a popular spot for camping and hiking in the summer, but it can be a fantastic place to explore in the winter as well. There's truly nothing quite like snowshoeing among the giant sequoias.
Oh.
However, the elevation of the park visitor center is only about 4,500 feet. So there may only be snow if there have been some cold storms that have just come through.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to check their social media for that latest condition, or just call the park.
Yep.
The day use parking fee is $10 per car, and snow park permits are not valid here.
Right. But a little further up the road from Calaveras Big Trees, toward Bear Valley, there are 3 more snow parks up there, and they're called Spicer, Round Valley, and Lake Alpine. Lake Alpine is where they closed the road going over the pass for the wintertime. All of these are at higher elevation, and they usually have plenty of snow. We would recommend Spicer and Lake Alpine for snow play, but both are also used as snowmobiling staging areas, so just be aware of that. And of note, the Round Valley Snow Park is close to Bear Valley Ski Area and the Bear Valley Adventure Company. They're all kind of right in that valley spot right there. So there's food and other facilities right there, which is a bit unusual for most of our snow parks. There's cross-country ski trails there right at that location. The Bear Valley Adventure Company does ski rentals and snowshoe rentals and all that kind of thing. Snow park passes are required at the snow park parking areas, those 3 locations.
A little bit further south, traveling out of Modesto and Sonora, is Highway 108, which will take you up to Pinecrest Lake and Highway 108 Snow Park. Pinecrest Lake isn't an official snow park, but there is usually parking for flat snow play, and the scenery with the mountains and the lake is amazing. About 10 miles above Pinecrest is Highway 108 Snow Park. This is primarily used as a snowmobile staging area, so Pinecrest would be a better option for a family snow play.
Yep. The Highway 108 Snow Park also has a big parking area up there, but there's a lot of snowmobile use, which is why I kind of recommend Pinecrest for families. There's usually a lot of plowed parking area around there. And again, the scenery right there at the lake, snow play on the lake shore and looking at the mountains. It's a beautiful spot. Okay, so it's time to talk about my most favorite place on the planet, Yosemite National Park. Now, Jenna, as you know, I have a DNA type connection to Yosemite, so I really do love talking about this place. There are 3 ways into the park during the winter months. From Tracy and Manteca, you can take State Route 120, or if you're a little further south, down by Merced on State Route 140, and if you're way further south from Fresno on State Route Highway 41. Highway 120 over Tioga Pass is closed in the winter.
Yeah, I can confirm it's already closed for the season.
Yes. Yep. 2 things to note when traveling into Yosemite. There's a $35 entrance fee to the park, but that's good for 7 days. If you have one of the federal passes, you get in for free. Also, and this is really important to remember, there are no gas stations in Yosemite Valley. There are gas stations at Crane Flat on Highway 120 and at El Portal down on Highway 140 and at Wawona over on Highway 41. Now, Route 120 will take you past Crane Flat, which is where they close the road going over Tioga Pass, and it's a good place for all forms of snow play. You can also go directly into Yosemite Valley, and if you're really lucky, if you time it just right, there might be enough snow on the valley floor to spend your time building a snowman right within the view of Glacier Point and Half Dome. which, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to experience Yosemite Valley with fresh snowfall and
Oh, it's stunningly beautiful. All right, so storytelling time. Now, you knew I grew up in Yosemite.
I
right?
did.
Yep. Now, do you know what we did for fun in the winter?
No, tell me.
Ice skating under the stars at the Curry Village ice rink.
Rub it in.
Yep. It was wonderful. And it's a must-do experience for anybody nowadays, too. Now, back when I was growing up, they didn't have the ice rink. They actually flooded the Curry Village parking lot. They
really?
Yep. They built up snowbanks, and then they turned on the fire hydrant and flooded the parking lot. So the rink was huge.
The good old days.
Yeah, but nowadays they have the smaller ice rink there. My family has very fond memories of skating under the stars with Glacier Point and Half Dome watching over us. What could be better? It's always been a very family-friendly place, and they have skate and helmet rentals there for all ages. Also, they have this very cool, big, large bonfire spot for you to get off the ice and go warm up your hands and feet. Now, ticket prices average about $17 per person for a session, which usually runs about 2 hours.
Okay.
And you can reserve your ticket ahead of time if you desire on travelyosemite.com.
If you're feeling adventurous or are coming in from Fresno on Highway 41, there are a couple of great places to check out. First, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, or just snow hiking amongst the giant sequoia trees in the Mariposa Grove is always an incredible experience. Also, a trip up to Glacier Point and the Badger Pass ski area can be a huge winter bonus. There are groomed ski and snowshoe trails from Badger Pass all the way out to Glacier Point, and seeing Half Dome appear through the trees on a bluebird winter day should be on your bucket list. I know.
Amazing. And I learned to ski at Badger Pass. It's a great little place.
You had a terrible childhood.
I had a horrible childhood, yeah. But that view, when you come up with a little rise, when you're cross-country skiing out toward Glacier Point and Half Dome appears, it just takes your breath away. It's really incredible.
Of course, alpine skiing at Badger Pass is a very fun experience, as Dawn has just told us, for the whole family. Tickets run from $38 to $64, and the tubing hill is $30 per session.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, it's they say when we get some snow, it's going to be open this year. It was not open last year.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah. Now, a couple things to remember. Plastic sleds and metal saucers should always be purchased ahead of time because it's really hard to find them up at the snow park areas.
Yeah.
And if the sled breaks, pack it out and take it home.
Please.
Please, 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 please. The mountains are littered with sleds come springtime, so do your part and pack it out.
Let's talk about where not to go. Do not park on the shoulder of the freeway or secondary roads.
Nope.
Park only where it's legal.
Yep.
Neighborhoods off the highway are private property and not open to sledding. And usually for Gray Eagle, for instance, there's the snowplow issue.
Yep.
So just don't even bother. Go where there are restrooms and trash facilities. You may get cited, towed, or both if you don't follow these rules.
Yeah, most people don't understand that in the mountain areas, most of the counties have posted ordinances on most of the roads that say you cannot park on the shoulders during the wintertime.
Yeah.
You could be subject to a citation or getting towed. So let's talk a little bit about winter travel. It can be challenging in the Sierras, and it requires a very different set of skills and planning. So a couple of points I want to go over. First off, when you're driving in the snow, we always say slow is pro. Slow down and stay safe.
Yeah.
Just because you have an all-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive vehicle does not mean that you are going to have the same kind of control that you would on dry pavement.
No, it's better to just drive slow than hit your brakes and hit black ice.
Absolutely. During snow conditions, roads may be closed for any accident or changing weather. So just be aware that if you come to a closure, you might not have any idea how long you're going to be sitting there. Also, this is really important to remember, speed limits drop to 25 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour within chain control areas. It kind of depends on the highway. You always want to get your chains or your cable chains before heading up the hill. Don't assume that there's going to be something available up there. And one thing I wanted to mention too that I forgot about when we were talking last week, There are a lot of cars that you cannot put chains on.
Oh, really?
They don't have enough clearance between the wheel and the wheel well of the car, and the manufacturer does not allow it. So check that in your owner's manual before you leave. Yep. Always plan on delays and not having access to restrooms. So when you have an opportunity for a pit stop, I recommend taking it. And if you must stop in an area where it's snowy, please move to the right as far as possible and don't let everybody get out of the car. It's very unsafe. Others that might approach you and not see you cannot stop on snowy roads. You're much safer inside the car. And lastly, if you ever need help, call 911. On most of the major road corridors now, there is self-service, or at least limited cell service. California Highway Patrol, Caltrans, deputies, even the park rangers are out there patrolling roads.
Yep.
And they're there to keep everyone safe. They're actually out there looking for problems, and they're there to help.
All right. So we've looked at snow parks and some state and national parks where you can go with the family to have a fun winter adventure. Don't forget to plan ahead for weather and road conditions, get a snow park permit in advance, and be prepared for traffic delays.
Now, next time on Rogue Ranger Radio, we're going to come out of the mountains and we're going to give you some great ideas on how to entertain and educate the whole family by visiting a couple of great parks around the downtown Sacramento area, including the California State Railroad Museum and the state capitol.
Subscribe and share the podcast, if you will. Visit park websites and support local park foundations. That's the money that stays in the park. Follow us on our social media for updates and bonus content. We're on Facebook, Instagram at Rogue Ranger Radio. If you have a question, a comment, or want to ask a ranger about anything we've discussed, you can email us at roguerangerradio@gmail.com.
Thank you for making Rogue Ranger Radio part of your day. Be sure to give us a like and a review on your favorite podcast platform. It really does mean a lot to us. Also, spread the word about this podcast to everyone you know. And lastly, don't forget to check out the show notes for links to all the things that we talked about today. Now, go out and explore the best that California has to offer.